He is more taller than me. Today is more hotter than yesterday. Have you said sentences like this? This is actually incorrect, but today I'm going to teach you how to use comparatives and superlatives properly. Namaskaram, Ende Per Tabitha from Narden English. So what is a comparative? A comparative compares differences between two objects or people. Randa വസ്തുക്കളെയോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മനുഷ്യരെയോ തമ്മിൽ compare ചെയ്യുക. When constructing a comparative sentence, it will be like this. A noun, the verb, comparative adjective, plus than and plus the noun. So, for example, he is a noun, is verb, taller, the comparative, than me. That's a noun. He is taller than me. Some more examples include: the dress I saw today is cheaper than the one I saw before. She is smaller than me. It's hotter today than yesterday. This photo is better than the one I took. So in all these sentences, we're comparing different things. She is smaller than me. The dress I saw is cheaper than the one I saw before. So that's the basics of comparatives. Now we'll move on to superlatives. So a superlative describes an object or a person at the upper or lower limit of something. Some common ones you may have heard include tallest, smartest, cheapest. That's the upper or lower limit, or the most of something or the least of something. So the sentence will look like this: noun plus verb plus the superlative plus the noun again. An example could be, he is the fastest runner. He is the noun, is the verb, fastest is the superlative, and then runner, that's the noun. Some other examples include, she is the tallest in her class. I am the eldest or the youngest among my siblings. That is the worst restaurant I've ever been to. That is the hardest exam I've ever done. So you see, in all these examples, we have the most quality of something or the least, the hardest, the tallest, the worst. It's always the most or least of something. So how do we form comparatives and superlatives? Now this has a lot to do with syllables. A syllable is a sound in a word. So fast is one syllable. Easy is two syllables. So it all depends on the syllable. So we'll start with one syllable comparatives and superlatives. So for one syllable, you add ER onto the end, and for superlatives, you add EST onto the end. For example, fast is the adjective, so we would say for comparative, faster. And then for superlative, fastest. Then we have tall, taller, tallest. Then we have cold, colder for comparative, and coldest for superlative. So I hope you see that pattern there. So what about adjectives with two syllables? Then we add ER onto the end for comparative, but we can also use the word more. And for the superlative, we can add est onto the end, but you can also use most. And also, if the adjective ends in a y, then we add an I for the comparative and superlative forms. So here are some examples. Easy, easier, easiest. Happy, happier, happiest. Funny, funnier, funniest. Helpful, more helpful, or most helpful for superlative. So do you see the difference there? And for some adjectives, it will be more common to use more rather than er. But that's something you'll learn by listening and seeing what form native speakers use. For adjectives with 3 or more syllables, we only use more or most. Or you could say the least or less. So important, you can say more important, or is it most important? You can say intelligent, more intelligent, or most intelligent. Less intelligent, or least intelligent. So you won't add the er or est endings at all for adjectives with 3 or more syllables. So there are some other comparatives and superlatives that don't specifically comply to this formula. So here are the irregular comparative and superlatives. We have good, better, and best. Bad, worse, and worst. Little, less, and least. Much, more, and most. For example, I have less food on my plate than you. In the group, she is the best singer. I have the least expensive car. So just to recap, today we've talked about the formula for comparatives, comparing one object to another. Superlatives, which is saying something is the most or the least of something. We've talked about how to know which ending to use, which is according to the amount of syllables in the word. And we've also talked about irregular comparatives and superlatives. I hope that you find this really helpful, as this is such a common part of English speaking. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more lessons like this. Adieu til neste kanal.